Triplefour.
Let's talk about it. Okay, Triplefour podcast.
Yeah, he said this dude makes a meatwad fucking thing for no reason, and then he says Jim Norton.
Bob Dylan I find personally obnoxious, but the Beatles destroyed culture.
Oh my god.
I got Elon Musk to smoke weed in my Tesla the other day. It's not even a big fucking deal.
Things are crazy right now. You don't know shit, do you? We really didn't.
You know, you can't always get what you want. But you'll find sometimes that if you try,
You just might get it.
Oh, you get it!
From the Triplefour podcast, episode 46. Number 2 podcast in the world. Sup foreheads, sup triplets. You know the drill. First, I want to shout out a little side project podcast, the Let's Talk About It podcast. First episode, pilot episode, now available with yours truly and Jacob Gasho, original host, co-creator of the Triplefour podcast. This one's still going to keep going at its usual rate, but whenever we do that, let's talk about it. We will when we want. So check that out. It's an educational podcast for the kids. You know, gather the family around and learn something for once in your goddamn life. Anyway, got the usual suspects here today. Josh?
Yeah, so managed to get into a movie theater. No one's in here because something crazy is happening outside. I don't know what it is, but no one managed to be in the movie theater. I waited for Paul for a few hours, went home, just said fuck it, Then the next day I'm like, you know what, I'll go to the movies. And now I'm here. When I went in though, they told me like, hey, we don't have any new movies. So we just got like 4 movies from March still like left. Do you want to just watch them? Be like, all right. And they just said, yeah, okay, you're going to be watching My Spy.
Is that that's the movie with
Bautista? Yeah,
the
little girl. Yeah. So they said, yeah, you have no choice here. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's fair. So now I'm taking a little break today. This is a little bit of a little low sesh day.
So Pee-wee just up and abandoned you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his goal was, but apparently it's going to take weeks, maybe. Who knows anymore? Dude's crazy.
Yeah, I was going to say, after last week's episode, when I titled it Free Paul Rubens, we went on a whole Paul Rubens liberation campaign. I went on his Wikipedia page and read more about him. And turns out it's not like the movie theater thing was not the only thing that was kind of a mark on his record. He was also discovered with some lewd materials that were eventually deemed not child pornography, but you can look into that for yourself. We didn't know last week, just clarification.
Yeah, if you have to even debate it, that's
Well, to be fair to Paul, what I read was that he's a kitsch collector. He collects a lot of like old magazines and old like memorabilia and stuff, and he buys big lots of things. And he owns a lot of old photographs and old like gay muscle magazines and things. And at some point, somebody tipped the police off, and they raided his house, and they found I guess what at the time they decided very well may be child pornography, but his defense was that he didn't see it that way, and that he wasn't even necessarily aware of some of its existence and the whole thing. So
sounds a little hard candy-ish, but
complex situation. Fans go do your own research and figure out your own opinions, because hey, we're not here to tell you anything in particular, except for that I named the last episode Free Paul Rubens, despite not being aware of this information. And that's how you know we're the number 1 podcast that you can count on for your news.
I was if he calls me again, what am I supposed to say to him?
Ask him about the porn.
So yeah, so what's up with the fucking kitty porn you got going on?
I'm sure he would love to answer that question.
He would really appreciate it. Anyway, sorry, Nick.
No, you're good. I was going to say I didn't go very far this week. I'm here in the basement still. Got a haircut. Got a tan. I know you can't tell in this light, but I've been sitting in the sun, how's the Tiny Tim song go?
Tiptoe through the window, by the window.
Yeah, that's the one. Dan, why are you in Delaware?
Hi, I'm in Delaware.
Crazy.
If you know, you know. If you get it, you get it. You watch some films, dude. Fucking, you'll get it.
Able to be magically whisked away to Delaware. Hi, I'm in Delaware.
I'm still in my kitchen.
Believe it or not, Maddie's
Cool.
not moved from that chair in 4 weeks.
Yeah, every week, I just sit here all week. Sometimes I go to the bathroom occasionally, but I'm just sitting here until the next podcast comes around. So
I
there's
have a
a
question.
dude in the back. He's got a gun. So I'm kind of stuck here.
Yeah, this is relevant. My question is, do you do this with Lauren there? Does she know that you're doing it? What's the deal?
No, she went back to St. Charles in March. So
Oh,
I've been here alone with the guy with the gun, of course.
oh well. Are you done with school now? This is usually usually the time.
Yeah, my
That's
last
cool,
final is on Friday, so I'm free. I'm still doing research, but otherwise nothing.
Identifying rock types, igneous, sedimentary.
No, my research is with the psychology department, so unrelated to my degree.
How rocks get stressed out.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
rock therapy.
I am being published, though. That's exciting.
Rocks Monthly.
Stressed Out Rocks Monthly in the psychology world. Yes. By me and only me.
Can I get a whoa?
Whoa!
I'm gonna put it in there. Anyway, things are crazy right now.
Is it just me, or is it getting crazier out there?
Because
Things are crazy right now.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but David Lynch is doing the weather. David Lynch, friend of the podcast, good buddy, has been uploading a daily weather report from his studio in LA. So go check that out. I'll cut in a little clip here.
It's May 17, 2020, and it's a Sunday. Here in LA, we had some fog earlier, but it's burning off, some wispy clouds, all turning to blue skies, golden sunshine, very still. 65 degrees Fahrenheit right now.
Is he like predicting, like, oh, here's the forecast? Or is he just like, it's sunny outside right now?
Yeah, he's just sitting in a chair and he looks out like this, and then he just says, well, it's sunny out today and it's cloudy, but it might clear up. And it's just like that. So
It might clear up.
it's pretty fucking good.
I want him to do a 7-day forecast, honestly. I want to see what he fucking does. Because the dude has to be doing some stupid shit up there.
I did enter that contest to win a web chat with David Lynch. Have a coffee with David Lynch and have him draw your portrait or whatever. Because I was thinking, not only do you get some good FaceTime with DL, in which I can promote, the space and all that stuff, but he's going to do a portrait of me. That's like a priceless piece of art. That'll be my Facebook profile picture for the rest of my life. Nobody else enter that because I want to win.
I'm going to enter now.
Speak for yourself.
All right. Well, if you win, you got to take me along so I can get funding for the Space 2 hyperspace.
Fine.
When we made that, we emailed the David Lynch Foundation a link to the space when we finished it. I was like, hey, if anybody sees this, yeah. So
I take it you get a response.
No response. I mean, the foundation, they're more focused on trying to teach like homeless people and veterans and small children how to meditate.
Oh.
Real quick, is anybody else's feed messing up right now, or is that just me? Because I just had a long pause on what you were saying, Dan.
I think it's just you.
Yeah.
So fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck you.
guess it's just me.
David Lynch is back. Remember when he said he's going to beat your ass? Beating your ass in the connection wise.
I think he said, I will fuck you up.
That was it.
Can I get a what the hell?
What the hell?
Things are crazy right now. I still haven't gotten my stimulus check.
Oh, dude, I got $500 today from that relief fund that I sent you, the restaurant relief fund.
I should have applied for that.
You didn't apply for it. Yeah, I fucking told you to.
I figured everybody was, applying for all this stuff, and so it wasn't going to be very attainable,
I got $1,200 from the school because they sent out a thing for the CARES Act. And they were like, go ahead and apply and whatever. And I was like, oh, well, I probably won't get it because I never get any scholarship I apply for. So I filled it out and I was like, yeah, so here are my financial burdens. But also, if you think about it, I've paid a lot of money to be here. I paid a lot of course fees that were basically as much as my tuition. And I didn't really get any of that. So, and they gave me the money for some reason. It was probably the sassiest thing I've ever sent out to apply for something. And they gave me $1,200. So.
Did they reduce your tuition at all because of the video? Yeah. See, that's their punk ass attempt.
I figured they wouldn't touch it because normally if you do an online class, they charge you extra for like a distance fee. So I was like, if they're really going to be like technical about it, if anything, they would charge us more money. So, which is just S&T.
Well, if everybody's applying to stuff and getting it, then I better get this fucking David Lynch web call, I swear to God, because everybody's winning stuff.
Dan, did you say you still, sorry, not to cut you off. Did you say you still haven't gotten your stimulus, but you got unemployment?
I've gotten unemployment, but I have not gotten my stimulus check.
Okay, because I finally got unemployment. I got the stimulus like a week or so ago. And then I just got my first round of unemployment, which was $759, which is not bad.
See, but this is what makes the stimulus thing fishy is because I have taxes filed for last year with direct deposit information, and I have had this year's taxes filed with direct deposit information for a while. I got my tax return for this year direct deposited to my account. And I have relatives that are deceased that receive stimulus checks. And I'm like, yeah, not a bit. Not a bit.
Where are those checks going?
Just mailed it straight to the fucking tombstone.
Well, they mailed them to the house, but the hell? It's not like they paid taxes this year. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's something wrong because if I got a return and I have, I qualify for it in every capacity that I'm aware of.
Yeah, that's weird because I haven't even done my taxes yet. I still have a tax return to get too.
Well, if you had taxes for last year, then they did it off that information.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I still have more money to claim because I haven't done my taxes yet.
So maybe you should have filed your taxes, Dan. Maybe you should have waited till the last minute. That's what we learned today.
Yeah. Well, we didn't even have them done by the normal deadline, but they extended the deadline, I think.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, till July, I believe.
And here's looking into it, what I discovered was there's no way to contact there's no way to contact anybody about any issues with this. They're just like, please do not call anyone. Do not try to contact the IRS. Do not try to do it. And I'm just like, I can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get dummies from cheating them or just being dummies and not knowing, they're like, where's my money or whatever, even though they don't qualify for it because they pay taxes or something. But for the people who have just genuinely apparently been on the end of an error, there's nothing I can do about it.
You're fucked, dude. Go straight to jail. Don't pass go. Do not collect $200.
Do not collect $1,200. And there's proposals for more stimulus in the future. So
I talked to my mom, and I didn't read too much into the whole stimulus check thing because it doesn't apply to me. But I figured my parents would get money for me because they claimed me on their taxes. But it turns out they get no money for me, and I get no money for me, and I just don't count, basically.
There's supposed to be extra money on top for people who claim dependents, I thought.
That's what I thought too, but my mom was like, pretty much between 17 and 25, you get nothing, and no one gets anything for you. So I don't know if they just like forgot to give it to my parents, or they're still waiting on it, they're supposed to get it, or like they're just never gonna get it and I'm just worthless. But I don't know.
Well, it's supposed to be $500 for each dependent.
Except for me and my brother.
Except for you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, my parents didn't get one either.
But maybe they're just waiting still. I have no idea.
Maybe it's because you're so independent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on like a Bandcamp label, and you work for A24 and shit. That's how independent you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, this reminds me of a phrase. Things are crazy right now. I've noticed a new little trend on the social media sphere. Celebrities giving commencement speeches. So I think it's probably our turn as the Triplefour podcast to spread our wisdom to all of the graduates out there and give our own kind of little collaborative commencement speech. My first tip, don't fuck up.
That's a good one.
Okay, yeah.
I don't even remember our high school commencement speech or who gave it or what they said.
No idea. Can't remember.
Couldn't tell you.
Could not tell you.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Don't die.
Be glad that you paid so much money to have your name on a PowerPoint presentation.
And if you're graduating high school, be real happy that you're going off to college to pay a bunch of money for your name.
Yeah.
Paper.
And in the unprecedented economic depression.
Yeah. Again, don't die. Maybe.
You know, if it requires that.
Yeah, I mean.
You got to do anything.
That's a good
do
one.
Anything.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Never say no.
Do a kickflip.
Yeah.
Just do one right on the stage, you know? Anywhere. Really.
You know, at first I thought that everybody was making too big of a deal out of the fact that high school seniors don't get the end of their year or whatever. Because I was thinking, like, does it really matter? I mean, prom sucked.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? The lock-in was kind of cool. I saw a kid throw up because he ate too many Fazoli's breadsticks.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty, yeah.
I feel like...
I remember that.
Like, if you think about it, like, for me, I didn't, care a whole lot about my senior year, but, like, things still mattered to me at that point. And so, like, I've gone to college, and now I look back, and I'm like, well, absolutely none of that matters at all. But I feel like if I didn't get to experience it, like, if I didn't get to go to prom and have the worst time of my life, I might feel a little bit robbed and be like, oh, what if it was cool? I like knowing that I got to experience it being horrible.
Yeah, I went to 2 proms, and they were both lame.
That's why they call them 2 proms.
2-timer.
Yo, what up, 2 proms? That's what they say on the street.
I don't care about prom. I'm just trying to fuck.
Like, sitting through your own graduation, and you're like, this is horrible, and I just want to leave and be done with this. You know, they don't get that. Sad.
Our graduation was actually crazy though, because there was a storm or a tornado watch. It was held at the family arena. There was a tornado watch, and they hustled everybody in the entire ceremony and arena during the name reading into little corners and crevices, and us into the locker rooms. They brought everybody back out once they called it off, and then they read one name and then called everybody back into the locker rooms because the watch was back on.
I remember that because my fucking grandmother visited me on my graduation, and she was 66 at the time. And she had to literally go down the fucking stairs, back up, and then back down the stairs and back up. And I remember talking to her afterwards, like, Grandma, how are you doing? She's like, you know, you got to do it.
Grandma, you got to do anything.
Grandma does anything.
She said she was fine, but I knew like she was in pain at that point. She had to go up fucking stairs, and she had to literally stand there, and everyone was, it's just shitty. But the funniest part is our high school did get hit with a tornado, and it did rip a portion of the school.
When the glass roof of the
science wing, I think it was specifically.
Oh, I was thinking the Happy Zone. If you remember the Happy Zone,
it's not really happy anymore.
There was a part of for the listeners at home, there was a portion of the hallway. We had our school was like 3 levels. The top floor had like a glass like skylight window like along the length of the hallway, and there was a pipe,
wasn't it?
Yeah,
pipe.
It was like a big pipe, and it was like painted yellow, and it just said Happy Zone
with a straight up like clip art photo of a happy face on there.
Yeah.
You have to insert that. You have like a clip of it in one of your movies that you would make.
It's on my channel, I think. I'll insert it here.
Yeah.
It also every time
it's in the math zone, like where all the math classrooms are. So it's just perfect.
I'm pretty sure we've established that math is not in the happy zone.
I know.
It's not here.
But every time you went up there too, it always smelled straight like fucking chemicals. There was no deviation from it. It always smelled like fucking Lysol or some shit.
Eventually, I think they started claiming that the Happy Zone was the place where you could not have your phones out. Like, because all the math teachers were like really anal about people having their phones out. So they would like be like, they would take it away. So like, don't have your phone in the Happy Zone or something like that.
Dude, I will never forget. I was in trade class, and Lauren was in there with me. Before I knew her very well, senior year. And we had a substitute teacher, and she didn't really teach us anything. She just like gave us a worksheet to do. So we're all working on it, no big deal. And Lauren is watching a Khan Academy video on her phone to like figure out what to do. And the sub comes up behind her. She's got her headphones in. When Lauren has her headphones in, I don't care if the volume is off. This girl doesn't hear anything. And so the sub is like, excuse me. She's like tapping her on the shoulder, and Lauren's like, what? And she's like, you can't have your phone out. And Lauren was like, I'm literally watching a Khan Academy video, so bye. And she put her headphones back in. And this teacher was absolutely furious. And this goes back and forth where she's like, seriously, you can't have your phone out right now. And Lauren is not responding. She doesn't give a fuck. And then she got a detention, and she told the teacher about it. And the teacher didn't make her do the detention. So that was my first introduction to Lauren before I lived with her.
In the Happy Zone.
Yes.
If you're a substitute teacher and you give a detention, you're fucking crazy. You're on a power trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever have Mr. Breen?
No, I didn't. No.
Missed out.
Well, Mr. Breen was this guy who seemed like he was stoned all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was very chill. He hardly ever taught. He would put up like notes on the board, and it was basically just like a worksheet with like blanks that were filled in, and he would give you the the version of the worksheet without the words in there, and then all class would just be copying down the blanks onto your piece of paper.
Yep.
And then on Fridays he would go, all right, we're gonna watch a Mythbuster.
Yeah.
Not an episode of Mythbusters. He would always say a Mythbuster. We're gonna watch a Mythbuster today. And
that's what Rangan would do. Anytime he was gone, it would be the same Mythbuster episode, and we would get the same worksheet. And the subs would always get really confused because we'd have it filled out before it was done, and we were like, yeah, it's not that serious. We watch this every time he's gone. So Lauren and I would always stay after class and talk to him, and that was when we had calc. And we would stay for like 30 or 40 minutes, and he would give us lectures. He was like, don't get married. Just don't do it. He was like, if you're going to do it, wait. He's like, I waited until I was like 40, but I still regret it. So you probably shouldn't get married. It's just some lecture like that, and we would just fuck around with him because he didn't have a class during that time, and he would always write us a pass to come in obscenely late to calculus.
So he had a fight with his wife the night prior.
We had a math substitute that we would get every once in a while. His name was Mr. Shep. We just called him Shep. This dude was like 70 something. He was old ass dude. I hit a serious lick on this man in math class one time. He was subbing for a teacher, Miss I Hacker, which was probably my least favorite teacher that I had in any grade. Maybe second. Anyway, she sucked. So I Hacker's out, Shep's in, Shep's old and oblivious, and we had a test that day, and I went up to his desk and I took the test key and I passed it out to the entire class, and everybody passed the test. And when iHacker got back, she was pissed, and she pulled up like 3 people aside to question us, and I didn't get caught.
Until now. Yeah.
They're watching.
Yeah,
all our old teachers are watching this.
Diploma revoked.
I'm sure my Algebra 2 teacher will be watching this podcast.
Well, I share this on my Facebook, and I'm friends with a lot of my teachers throughout school on Facebook, and sometimes I wonder if they ever look at this or watch it, and I guess they have to watch this pretty far in to get this far, but
yeah, well, they saw how the last one was called Free Paul Rubens, and they were talking about the child porn, so
honestly, anything's got to be better than how I was throughout elementary school, middle school, and high school.
My favorite story of messing with a teacher would be my English teacher, Dawn Jones. I don't know. Did you have her, Josh?
Yep. For English?
Yeah. English 3.
Yeah.
I got kicked out of honors English / AP English for some reason. I don't know. I'm out here fucking doing moment for literature, and they're gonna kick me out. Anyway, she had a good will. She seemed like she wanted to be a helpful, inspiring teacher and stuff. At one point, she actually showed the movie Dead Poet Society, which I feel like is a cop-out because it's just like the whole point is that he was an actually inspiring teacher and brought all these things into the classroom and made his kids feel things, but she didn't know how to do it, so she just played the movie where a guy does that. But so she did this thing where she called it Music Monday, And as a English exercise, she would have us analyze the lyrics of a song. And I want to say like she brought in like a Coldplay song. She made us listen to like a Dave Matthews song.
I know Dave Matthews. She did.
Yeah. And at one point she's like, all right, from now on, I'm going to open it up for suggestions. So if you guys want to submit a song that you think we should analyze, you can put it in this jar on my desk. And at the time, a very popular tune with the kids was Diamonds by Rihanna. And me and my friend Matt thought this song was so terrible and hilarious because the whole song was her saying shine bright like a diamond. So we together both submitted like 4 or 5 recommendations anonymously for Diamonds by Rihanna to the Music Monday jar. And she, I like did like different handwritings and stuff as if it was different people. And she, come Music Monday, she goes, guys, this one was requested multiple times. So I think there's something to be found here. And so with the entire class, she printed out the lyrics to Diamonds by Rihanna for the entire class. We sat and listened to the song and went through the lyrics and analyzed it for metaphors. And like, I remember the ultimate point was she was like, I think this song's about Chris Brown. And she was like, clearly she thinks that when they're together, they shine bright like a diamond, like they bring out the best in each other. And me and Matt were in the back just fucking cackling inside, holding it in. Anyway. Time for films.
Parasite, Midsommar, Jean-Luc Godard, Robert Eggers sucks. This is the time for films theme song. It's over.
The trailer for Da 5 Bloods just came out like a few hours ago. Looks fucking cool. New Spike Lee joint. Co-written by Kevin Wilmot, my former screenwriting professor / mentor / cameo appearance maker in a little film called The Mystery Gang, which is on the Triplefour YouTube channel. Don't watch it. Anyway, The 5 Bloods looks cool.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Cool.
I mean,
review.
I liked another Vietnam War movie. I saw it. I saw the trailer too, and I saw the Apocalypse Now, like behind one of the main characters.
Were they having like a rave? They were having like an Apocalypse Now rave?
Yeah, I didn't know.
I think
interesting.
I think what it is, so I believe the story is that it's like this group of Vietnam vets who are older, make a trip back to Vietnam to reclaim some buried treasure that they had found when they were in the war. So it must be like the present day, like a bunch of veterans like getting together and partying or something, and it was like a Vietnam themed party. I find that
fun.
Weird. Yeah.
I definitely liked it though. I mean, I can go for another Vietnam War movie. It has a little
I was
difference.
in the rave, not the war.
They played Apocalypse Now and Diplo. Yeah, but it looks cool. It's on Netflix next month. Speaking of the Mystery Gang, SCOOB.
Oh.
I did end up watching it.
Oh, shit. What did you think, Maddie?
At first, so, okay, maybe I'm biased. when I watch any cartoon kind of thing, if it's going to be a cartoon, I would really prefer it to just be two-dimensional. I don't really like the aesthetic of like the three-dimensional animation stuff. It was a little rough, but by the end of it, I giggled a few times. I had some laughs. No tears, no crying this time. Pretty good bits. So all around, I did end up enjoying it.
There were some good bits.
Yeah.
I talked about it a little bit on the Let's Talk About It episode, but as a lifelong do-head, this was... I wasn't planning to see this or anything until I started noticing it was kind of like a meme. Like people kept talking about SCOOB on Twitter, like look at this piece of shit or whatever. And then I noticed it was available, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna watch this. It's a lot like Spider-Verse kind of for Scooby-Doo because it's so contemporary. Like they bring the characters into like a very pop culture heavy, like reference meta kind of context. So there's like references to fucking, I don't know. There's like a part where Shaggy opens up his phone and like he's playing Pandora and shit like that.
Fortnite reference in there?
No Fortnite.
I
like that they kind of made fun of themselves. Whenever the gang enters the movie theater and they're like, did you see these two people? And she was like, oh yeah, this dude who starts every sentence with like, as if that's, the 40-year-old version of what you would perceive a hippie to be.
Yeah,
so they kind of made fun of themselves with it. It was cute.
That was that one particular character, the bowling alley girl, who was like just tearing through the fourth wall the whole time.
Well, the robots attacked this talking dog and a gangly dude that had this habit of using the word like at the start of every sentence. Almost as if he was some middle-aged man's idea of how a teenage hippie talks.
Oh, that's Scoob and Shaggy, all right.
The most bizarre part was the fact that Simon Cowell was like the cameo, the celebrity cameo. That was weird.
So like out of place and kind of irrelevant, but I don't know, I think it worked.
Yeah, it was like intentionally irrelevant. Like it was funny for that. The only problem I really had was that it got into like a superhero story or whatever, and they split up the gang for the most of the movie. It should have probably been a more regular like Scooby-Doo story, I feel like, if they were gonna, kind of reinvent the series.
Okay, but that's pretty standard for Scooby. That's like a classic Scooby-Doo thing, is let's split up and look for clues.
No, it's the entire movie. Like Shaggy and Scooby are with these new characters, while Daphne, Velma, and Fred are like they're B plot. Like, and it mostly focused on Scooby and Shaggy because it was kind of about their relationship. But I was like, I need all of them together, and they're only together at the beginning and the end of the movie. So
I kind of feel like, it kind of addressed like a vague inconsistency where like, the beginning when they meet with Simon, he's like, you're the brains and you're the charismatic one, and you're the muscles, and you guys, I don't know. And I feel like that's a thing that probably, if you were just analyzing the show, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, what do Shaggy and Scooby bring to the table? I don't know. I feel like it kind of addressed that a little bit. Although I will say I didn't really like the superhero plot thing that was going on. I didn't mind that they were separated.
I was okay with the characters, the superhero characters. I thought it was okay. I just didn't care about the plot. Like I didn't care about the bad guy, and I just kind of, I don't know. I just wanted it to be like a classic. Like the opening or so is typical Scooby-Doo, where they go into a house and there's a bad guy and the whole thing. That's kind of what I wanted. So the cast was pretty good. Another thing I wanted was Matthew Lillard to be Shaggy. I mean, Will Forte was Shaggy and he was good, but Matthew Lillard kind of
the Shaggy voice. It was like, this is fine, but You're not quite there.
To be fair, Matthew Lillard's not a voice actor.
He could
He
be.
did the voice for Shaggy on their new series though. Like he
Did he?
Yeah, like when the Netflix produced this Scooby-Doo series, and he was the voice of Shaggy.
Okay, well, I stand corrected.
Okay, so the superhero is Blue Falcon. So that's okay. So yeah, he's been in Scooby-Doo before. In Dynamite, they had a crossover before. That was a long time ago, though.
I think what I didn't love about the superhero thing is, for one, I don't really superhero stuff doesn't really resonate with me, and I don't know. It kind of that's like the thing I like about Scooby-Doo. It's like, it's this mysterious supernatural thing, and no, it's just actually just a regular human being. So anyway, moving on. Whereas the superhero stuff is just like, he's just kid do stuff. So anyway.
Yeah, I think it was a kind of a cash grab. They're like, this is what the kids are into, superheroes, and I was calling it. That was a strong 3 for me on Scoob.
Go 3.
I watched the new David Spade movie on Netflix, Wrong Missy. Not exactly high expectations. In fact, maybe you would call them low expectations. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah,
I mean, it was surprised by how fine it was.
That's not exactly how I felt about it. I was avoiding it, and then that we should watch it, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a peep. It was better than I expected, but I also went in with very low expectations for it. So yeah, it was fine.
Also note, it's a Sandler movie that does not have Sandler in it.
Thank God for that.
He's
For
in a
that, it's 5
background
out of 5.
He's in a background scene somewhere. He just didn't look hard enough.
Well,
he wasn't in it, but his entire family was. His wife played the other woman that works at the office. The Barracuda, was Sandler's wife, and the 3 kids
Wait,
in the.
That's his wife?
Yep.
Is she okay?
Ooh, that's not a good question.
He is batting above his batting out of his league a little bit.
Yeah.
But I guess he's Sandler and he's fucking stupid rich. And the 3 little kids in the hotel lobby are his children. As is the blonde guy who's like the boss's like gopher dude, the guy who's just like, go get me stuff. Who's kind of like, seems like he's kind of stoned. He kind of looks like Jonah Hill a little bit. That's Sandler's son. That's his oldest son. So Sandler took his family on vacation to Hawaii, shot it with a professional camera, and released it to Netflix, basically.
And it's okay.
And it's fine. Lauren Lapkus was good. She's talented, improv, very funny actress. So I want to say that's like a light 2.5.
Yeah, I would go a very light 2.5 as well.
I did watch Trancers. I watched that last night.
And?
I only have 2 notes. One, the lieutenant from the future as the little girl relative, watching them do it, pretty creepy. My other note is my favorite quote, which is, I don't care if you're a little kid, an old lady, or a kitty cat. I'm going to kick your ass.
I like dry hairs for squids.
There it is,
personally.
yeah.
That's a banger, too.
Trancers is solid. You should watch Trancers 2, and then you can be done, because the other ones suck. But Trancers 2 like has a decent budget and stuff. So
too bad that's the peak.
That's true.
That's it.
Actually, just Josh and I hit a double feature of a movie called Shakma, which is a killer monkey movie that I was very disappointed by.
Beating on Doors, the movie.
Yeah, you just sum it up in one sentence. Basically, this monkey is like given a bunch of drugs, and then he escapes his cage. Oh, okay. Well, so it takes place in a hospital where the like head doctor loves playing a live action role play version of D&D. He invites all of his interns to play this game with him in the empty animal hospital at night.
Yeah.
So they're all in this hospital playing this game. The monkey breaks out and he starts killing people, but not in a very creative way. Almost the entire movie is this monkey running up, like basically a person running away, closing a door behind them, and then the monkey just beating the shit out of the door.
Open the door.
It takes place over and over and over again.
The first couple times of it is pretty hilarious. Fucking how he just beats up the door so hard, but then after it shows it like at least 10 to 15 times, it just gets really old.
Yeah, it was like an hour and a half movie, and it felt like fucking 3 hours long.
In fact, we skipped 25 minutes of it, I think, because it was just the same thing.
Yeah, it was just a guy walking around an animal hospital.
That's it.
Yeah.
Solved it.
And we paired that with Killjoy 3.
Oof.
Which almost good.
Yeah,
Almost
actually,
good.
yeah.
Killjoy 2 was a mountain of shit. Killjoy 1 gave me an aneurysm, but Killjoy 3, yeah, plenty of good bits in Killjoy 1, but
because it drops your IQ to just a minuscule level.
3, there's a scene where they are watching. What were they? They were watching another Full Moon movie.
Puppet Master.
Yeah, they were watching Puppet Master, which is classic. It's like something I would do, having my characters watch my own older movies. Yeah, so excited for Killjoy 4 and 5. Can't wait. All right, I got one more worth mentioning, and that's the Mark Norman special, which Nick watched.
Hell yeah. What?
Maddie watched it also?
I did.
Oh, really? Really, really, honestly, like impressive. Like one of the better sets I've seen in the past couple of years, I would even say. The dude is like, on it.
He's like cocaine Seinfeld. He's like,
he rattles off more material in the first 12 minutes than a lot of people do in like 3 specials
in their life. It must have taken a really long time to put together because there are so many jokes.
Yeah, I didn't like it at first. At first I was like, okay, this isn't for me, maybe, I don't know. But once I got into it, I was like, there's a lot going on. And I even laughed out loud a little to myself. So it grew. It grew on me, but it was good.
He does this thing where he has a punchline that's like shocking, and then he does a face like, and I love that.
I didn't love his voice at first, like classic bit voice, and it kind of reminded me of like Jenna Marbles' bit voice that she does, so I wasn't super into it at first, but eventually like the content was good enough that I got over the bit voice.
He's like, hey, what's the deal with he's like, he does sound a little bit like Seinfeld. He's like, hey, what's the deal with girls, huh?
Say, what do you think's causing all this traffic? I don't know, maybe the Jews?
I will tell you, there was one line that I think is an all-timer, like one of my all-time favorite things I've heard in a comedy special, and that's when he went, are there any gays in the audience? No. and then he, like, some people raise their hands, and then he goes, he's like, oh, cool, very cool. Thanks for coming out. And I was like,
I was honestly blown away. Like, yeah, I was like, how has nobody ever done that?
It was a fucking killer.
That, and he did he starts talking about pedophiles, and he's like, man, any pedophiles here tonight? I mean, statistically, there's got to be at least 2.
Yeah, it was. I think it's also extra cool because he put it out independently on YouTube, which is kind of a newer thing that I'm aware of now. Maybe people have been doing it. I know that Sam Morril did it, and that's like the first time I had ever heard of somebody doing that. But I think it's really cool because it seems to me that since Sam Morril and now Norman's specials are on, like, they feel so good, they feel so like genuine, and they're so good that I'm kind of like, yo, fuck Netflix specials. I mean, you're getting like I know that it's like a big deal and you're getting a large audience, but it seems like most Netflix specials are a little disingenuous. Like, they have to be the broadest, biggest version of their actual material. And a lot of times I think it becomes kind of diluted.
I'm really interested to see Eric Andre's Netflix special.
Yeah. Considering
I don't know where he filmed it. I don't know which city he filmed it in, but I'm interested to see it on Netflix versus like the live version of it that I saw.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too. And I think honestly, and we talked about it on the podcast after we saw it, but not like a perfect comedy set at all.
No.
He's not the greatest at stand-up at all.
That's not his thing, though. That's the thing. That's when I went into his special.
He's much better at the crowd work kind of thing. So whenever he did that in his stand-up, it was good, and that was hilarious, and everything was fine. But the stand-up itself wasn't great.
No, it's completely average at best.
I would rather just watch him and Andrew WK smash desks for an hour.
Yeah.
If you got Hannibal Buress with him on stage, that would have been a great. That would have been fucking just
yeah.
Great.
I wonder if he'll include like the crowd work portion of the show.
He'll have to.
Like, because that was the best part.
Yeah.
Like, if he's gonna include like the part at the end where he like FaceTimes someone's mom, you know?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Did he do the ranch thing with you guys as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought maybe the FaceTime thing was like a one-time deal, and then I started realizing that he was doing it at other shows, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, fair.
Well, I had like heard you guys and Joey talk about it, and then I went and saw it on my birthday, and I was like, I see a lot of this is very similar, indeed.
Well, I mean, we did have the drunk guy that went on stage and then went behind the fucking
we
stage.
did have that.
That was good.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was great.
We did have whatever, a deaf like interpreter. I don't know if you guys had one as well.
I didn't see one. If it
Okay.
was.
Deaf interpreter?
Yeah, for like people who were deaf, they were doing.
Oh, deaf! I said deaf.
He had a gun out.
Yeah, deaf. Yeah.
Interpret
died in the
this.
crowd. No, he did like a whole bit with the deaf interpreter, which was pretty hilarious. Well, I'll do a couple quick mentions. I'm watching Yardy. I've got like 20 minutes left. I'm not quite done with it, but it's fun.
Yardy?
Yeah. It's I think Idris Elba was like one of the first films he did or something. They made, wrote, directed. I don't really know. That was like the only description was his name that it was his first thing. So I'm watching that, hits home, set in Jamaica. So
Where are you from again?
Excuse you?
Where are you from?
Whiteville?
Yeah.
Whitesville, USA.
No, it's good so far. Fellas, so I'm in now. I've seen the bits.
I've seen the bits.
Yeah. Adam, I don't know if anyone's seen Adam. It's from 2019 film. I don't know.
Like ATOM or ADAM?
ADAM.
Nope. Doesn't ring a bell.
It was interesting. It was an interesting take on like, the whole LGBTQ plus community and that whole thing. And I think it's set in like early to mid 2000s, something like that, before gay marriage was cool, basically. It wasn't my favorite film, but it had an interesting time for sure. I watched On Chesil Beach and I cried, so that was hilarious. And I think that's really all I watched that was of super big importance. I did watch Joshi, which I enjoyed.
Thank you for watching my movie.
You're welcome. It was just for you. I thought of you the whole time. Like the situation was like so relatable to you since you've been through that. So.
My wife died. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the Goodfellas review?
I liked it. I mean, it's not, it's not my kind of movie. Typically, something I would normally watch on my own, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, see, this is the crazy part to me is like, I feel like 6 months ago, I couldn't have put a gun to your head to get you to watch Goodfellas of all movies.
Yeah.
All it took was a pandemic.
Yeah.
It's one of the more like bro-y gangster movies too.
I liked it and I was able to easily follow it. And usually what happens when I watch like, mafia kind of related films is I get lost and I'm like, I don't know who's who. I don't know what's going on entirely. And there's just a lot of really avoidable events occurring. But this one, I don't know, I felt fine about watching it and I was able to follow it and enjoyed it all around.
Now you have to watch The Godfather, which is admittedly pretty confusing.
That's the next step. I've avoided it for 22 years. So.
And I want to say, if you don't like it, it's okay. Because I feel like this is a problem with them. Yeah, you have my permission. No, I just feel like a lot of people are intimidated by those kind of things. I feel it too, where it's like, this is the most important movie and everybody thinks it's amazing and it's important. And then that kind of like is intimidating or like deflating almost, because you're just like, well, if I don't like it, then I suck. Because I have that same experience with a lot of like
things that I recommend.
Well, you just recommend bad movies. I'm talking about like
was a
these.
Joke.
Nope. Comedy.
Good bits always on the pod.
No, like I'm talking about like these Sight and Sound top 250 like fucking 1930s Dutch movies that like I watch and everybody's reviews are like, this is transcendental. It will shake your soul to the core. And I watch it and I'm like, yeah, I can maybe see in a possible realm how somebody might kind of enjoy this. And I just think...
Yeah. I also, here's the thing. I feel like we're very far removed from that. I mean, we're living in the Midwest. And that whole like East Coast gangster whatnot things are just very, very far removed from us. So I feel like I can't relate to it. And I'm not like, oh, I see this as an issue. And now I see where it evolved from and all that stuff. Whereas if I watch like Yardie or like Chirac or something, and it's a little bit more like, okay, this is kind of within my realm. Like I've heard of this, or this relates to someone I know, or something like that. Whereas anything like East Coast, it doesn't hit with me usually.
Chirac, also written by Kevin Wilmot of the Mystery Gang fame. So,
well, I enjoyed it.
It's a good movie.
Recently, it was another one that it took me a second to get into. I wasn't super about like the low key poetry thing that was going on, but once you're into it, you're like, okay, I hear what's going on. I get it.
Well, I'm looking forward to Maddie's review of The Godfather, which
coming next week, maybe.
Will come at some point on the Triplefour podcast.
I watched Jodorowsky's Dune.
Cool.
You watched Dune? Starring The Rock?
Now,
Yes.
Jodorowsky's Doom. That would be nuts.
That'd be pretty cool. But no, Dune. Dune. D-U-N. E.
That's it.
Dune.
Sand dunes.
Doom.
This is like a David Lynch bit.
Yeah. I studied sand dunes in my
Interesting.
classes, so I know the whole movie basically.
Let's look psychology on how this sounds, how they actually feel about themselves and others.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot to. That was a really incredibly long. It honestly made me feel pretty good. Maybe not good, but it made me not feel as shitty about how long it's taken us to do Darkness, just because of how monumental this project was, and it just didn't pan out. They spent years and years, and they were short. It eventually came to, in the end of all of it, it came to the conclusion of they were short $5 million. It was supposed to be, this was in 71. They started production in 70, and they were supposed to have a budget of $15 million by the end of it. On his fucking, and this is before Star Wars. They're basically saying that this would have, had they made this movie and it had come out before Star Wars, that this would have set the precedent for, you know, all that stuff. And
well, Dune is the most successful sci-fi book of all time, and or at least it was at the time. I know a little bit about the story about Salvador Dali and Pink Floyd.
Production. Yeah, you got H.R. Geiger, Salvador Dali, director of Drive, Neon Demon, Bronson. You got Gary Kurtz, who's the producer of Star Wars. He's in there talking about stuff. It was just so incredibly ambitious what he was trying to do with this. Basically what he had come up with, the movie would have been 14 hours long.
Classic Jodorowsky.
And then they even said, still, I don't know on the storyboards, but there's shots in there. They showed stuff from his storyboards, which you see clear parallels from Terminator, Star Wars, Alien, which, you know, H.R. Geiger worked on it, so that makes sense. But Raiders of the Lost Ark, Flash Gordon, Master of the Universe, Blade Runner, The Matrix, like it would have been a really huge, and I think even still was, influential thing. Pretty fucking nuts, dude. I will say that I went through some of the comments on Letterboxd, and that's a dumpster fire.
Of that movie?
of that documentary for whatever. There's like one woman in particular on Letterboxd that was going in about Jodorowsky's a fucking egomaniac and da 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 da, and he's taking all this credit and
probably know who that is. There's a couple Letterboxd personalities that are unsavory.
But it was a really good documentary. And I mean, at the end of it, kind of heartbreaking, because that would have been an amazing thing to see. He also talks about Lynch picking it up because the film rights lapsed in 1982, and that's when Dino De Laurentiis picked it up as the producer, and David Lynch was the director, and that came out in 84. And Jodorowsky specifically comments on that in the movie, talking about how, yeah, he wanted to be upset, but he's also such a big fan of David Lynch and his respect for him that, you know.
I've been meaning, I was just thinking today, I was like, I want to rewatch Jodorowsky's El Topo.
That's the next one I want to watch. I still have not seen El Topo or Holy Mountain. So those are the next two on my list. After watching that, I'm really fascinated to see those.
All right. And I think that does it for Time for Films. All right, running a little behind, but we have the final segment.
Questions that have plagued mankind.
Who am I? Where do I belong? Where is the path? Questions that have plagued mankind.
All right, so the first question comes to us from Idiot. and they say, my dog is pissing on my wife. Do you think the dog is sexist?
Just let the
I bet
woman
some
speak.
race.
What?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is a Maddie first question here.
Hold on.
It's a
Repeat
Maddie.
the question, please.
My dog is pissing on my wife. Do you think the dog is sexist? It's a thinker.
I mean, this is a big question. I mean, does he have a daughter? Is it pissing on the daughter too? I mean, is it pissing on every woman that walks in the house? Or is it just into a certain fetish on Pornhub? We don't know.
The dog is actively watching Pornhub.
Yes.
Also, the dog was wearing a T-shirt that it was a Tesla T-shirt, and he retweets everything Elon Musk tweets on Twitter. So that's a clue.
That he's sexist then.
Yeah, no, Elon tweeted take the red pill the other day. So he's kind of solidifying his place as a fucking nerd. Fucking loser.
Anyway,
I'm tired of his bits.
You have a baby like 6 times, start taking the red pill.
Can't wait for his next child to be F-15.
Anyway,
Okay,
yeah, the dog's
the
sexist.
question is, how many more children are going to come up with names like this? Like, are car people going to have kids and they're going to name them RX-7? Is that
MR2, dude? MR2 Stevens, you know it's coming.
Oh, I was waiting for it, dude.
Damn.
Anyway.
Next question. Is it unethical to lick someone's armpits?
Now, I can relate to this question because when I was in high school, I was sitting on a bus minding my own business, and this girl opted to lick my elbow. So.
Would she like scooch over to you and say, hey?
Yeah, it was like I was here and she was sitting behind me, and I had like my arm sitting on the seat back thing, and she licked it, and she was like, I licked your weenus, I bet you didn't feel it. And I was like, no, I did, because you licked me and I have nerves. So.
Okay, but that
sounds like sixth grade.
Yeah, except
grade shit.
Yeah.
It does, except it was in high school and she was a year older than me.
So her first thought when she saw an elbow was like, I'm gonna lick that.
Yes.
No, it was the whole point was to say the word weenus, right? That was the bit.
Yeah, that was the people would touch your elbow with their elbow and be like, we just touched weenus.
She could have done that, but instead she chose the path of licking it.
Licking weenus.
Yeah. It was wildly uncomfortable for everyone involved. So yes, it is unethical.
Anyway, that person's probably a voter at this point.
Oh, she is, and I know she votes. And I know
Vote for weenus.
Lick 'em.
I put weenus in the fill in the blank.
Weenuses. Lick them. Anyway, unethical. If you can't even go for the weenus, you definitely shouldn't be going for the pit.
Yeah.
Are you more of a pit man or a weenus?
I'm more of a weirdest person myself, but.
All right.
I'm just really into arms.
Let's just throw you for a loop on the next ballot. Are you more of a weenus man or a pit man?
Or a pit boss?
Pit boss.
No more Democrats and Republicans. It's weenuses or pits.
God bless America.
Right.
And the last one comes from Anonymous. The second question, I forgot the name, but their name was My Name Isn't. So
hilarious.
That's a cool name. So this person asked, why egg got the shell?
To boil.
Why egg got the shell?
Yeah, why egg got the shell?
To boil it.
It's just taboo with it.
Yeah.
To put in your garbage disposal and then
Throw it on a
turn
kid.
it on and hear it crunch. That's it.
Or save it for compost. That's another.
I once tried composting in the dorms. It didn't go well.
When you just don't take out your trash for like several weeks, you're like, I'm composting actually.
We forgot about it for like a month or two, and it was probably the worst smelling thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Why egg got the shell though?
For composting, apparently.
It's almost kind of a philosophical debate. You know, which came first, the egg or the chicken?
The chicken. We all know this. Evolution. Come on, Dan.
Which came first? Why didn't the chicken have a shell?
That's true.
Chicken does have a shell.
No, it don't.
Feathers.
So confident. No, don't.
Look, why isn't the egg a long tube?
Ooh.
It's more compactful.
They
Less
probably
strain
slip
on
out
the chickens
easier.
or whatever lays eggs.
Yeah.
Hey, can you throw me a couple egg tubes for breakfast?
But here's the thing. So do you think that eggs will become more elongated, like as time goes on? Like in, I don't know, like 5,000 years? Will eggs go from like this shape to like a longer shape through evolution? Will children come out in a more elongated fashion through evolution?
Just call
what
eggs
force?
extendos now in the future.
Well, evolutionarily speaking, I don't see why, like, in theory, why not? Why, like, people wouldn't be longer than they are fatter, or, like, why eggs wouldn't come out longer. It would just be easier and less painful.
That'd be a weird thing is that when you're pregnant, you actually just get taller. You don't get wider.
It just stretches your...
6'8".
No, man, it would come out like a Twizzler. Like, if you had a huge...
I don't like that.
Hold on a minute. You can't just...
Yeah. I don't know about that one.
Listen, I'm a woman.
You're going to have to explain this one a little bit more with a Twizzler.
Just stretch them out, you know? And then they can, like, compact over time, like gravity or something. Assuming gravity exists, flat earthers might disagree. I don't know.
So I think the answer to the question, why I got the shell,
to boil
is no, it don't.
Why not?
Huh.
That's not an answer. That's another question.
Yeah.
This dude's on Jeopardy.
This is questions that have plagued mankind. So
anything goes.
You gotta do anything. This is the moral of the story.
Yeah. Do anything. The podcast.
He's got to do anything.
That about wraps it up. Check out Let's Talk About It, the other podcast, educational podcast with Jacob and I. Check out SCOOB, if you will. And thanks for watching. Think about your eggs next time you eat them. Think about it.